Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack an incredibly popular yet totally profound framework for building a better life. We're looking at the core concepts from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. But look, we aren't just going to sit here and talk about abstract philosophy today. No, we're distilling this into a truly actionable playbook. We're going to explore how discipline, finding meaning, and voluntarily taking on responsibility are literally the true architects of order in our day-to-day lives. Now, what if the real reason your life feels chaotic is simply because you've stopped taking responsibility for it? Yeah, it's a bit of a provocative question, isn't it? The source material makes a really compelling argument here. We so often look externally for why we feel totally overwhelmed, but the answer is almost always internal. And just to be super clear right up front, this isn't just another one of those generic wake up at 5 a.m. and drink a gallon of green juice self-improvement guides. Not at all. This is a deep dive into becoming fundamentally mentally stronger, so you just don't collapse under the crushing pressure of everyday life. So here is our roadmap for today. First, why life feels chaotic. Second, the daily habit checklist. Third, overcoming the comfort trap. And finally, strength over happiness. Okay, part one, why life feels chaotic, and the delicate balance between anxiety and stagnation. You see, there's this fundamental tension that we all live in. Actually, psychologists note that humans require a certain degree of predictability, literally just to keep our nervous systems regulated. On one side, you've got chaos, too much uncertainty or broken rules, and that creates overwhelming anxiety. But on the exact flip side, too much order, well, that just creates total stagnation. If every single second of your day is rigidly planned out, you completely lose your spark. The author argues that a truly healthy life exists right on the border between both of those. You need structure and routine, sure, but you also absolutely need curiosity, adventure, and room to grow. And that perfect balance, that is exactly where we find meaning. Now, the source defines meaning not as some mystical, fleeting feeling, but as a highly practical psychological tool. It's basically the tool that helps people survive the unavoidable suffering of life. Look, everyone experiences pain, failure, and anxiety. That's just a given for all of us. But meaning, which we get from our goals, our families, our personal growth, and our responsibilities, well, that's the life vest that keeps us from drowning when things get incredibly tough. Moving on to Section 2, the Daily Habit Checklist, Small Daily Habits for Personal Growth. Habit number 1 on our checklist is probably the most famous one. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. I know, it sounds exactly like something a strict grade school teacher would yell at you. But before you roll your eyes, the source material actually connects this super simple physical action directly to some profound psychological benefits. The neuroscience behind this is absolutely fascinating. Having a confident posture literally changes the game. First, it completely changes how other people treat you because it shifts their perception of your competence. Second, it changes how your own brain perceives you, triggering a neurochemical response that actually makes you feel more confident. And ultimately, it changes how much control you feel you have over your own life. The deeper message here isn't about arrogance at all. It's about acting like someone who deserves respect, and by doing that, taking real responsibility for your own presence in the world. Next up on the checklist is another heavily discussed rule: clean your room. People love to joke about this one online, right? They kind of reduce it to just a basic chore. But in the book, it's used as an incredibly powerful, highly actionable symbol for taking control of your actual life. Think about it like building a house. The main argument is this: before you march out and try to fix all the massive, complex problems of the whole world, you really need to fix your own life first. I mean, if the foundation of your own house is crumbling, you really shouldn't be out trying to pave the city streets. Organizing your immediate environment, taking care of your physical health, building basic discipline, these small external acts of order literally create internal stability. They prove to your brain that you are completely capable of imposing order onto chaos. Moving right down the checklist, we hit this really profound thought. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Let me ask you this directly. Why is that we are so often way kinder to random strangers than we are to ourselves? We routinely ignore our own health, sacrifice our sleep, and essentially sabotage our own futures. The author asks a wonderfully simple question. If someone you loved dearly was destroying their own life, you'd immediately step in to help them, right? So why don't you offer yourself that exact same compassion and structure? Okay, this next habit is just absolutely critical, especially today. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. In our modern social media era, we are constantly bombarded with the absolute highlights of everyone else's lives. There is literally always going to be someone richer, smarter, or more successful popping up on your feed. And the source makes a great point here. That constant, totally unfair comparison will absolutely destroy your motivation. So how do we actually escape that comparison trap? Well, we just shift the metric. Step 1, focus entirely on your own personal progress. Step 2, aim to make a tiny, almost microscopic improvement today. And step 3, just take one step forward. Your goal isn't to be better than that random CEO you just saw on LinkedIn. The goal is just to be a tiny bit better than you were yesterday. That tiny, daily progress, that is more than enough to build massive, long-term momentum. The final item on our daily checklist is all about integrity. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Now, this isn't just standard moral advice. The source actually positions this as a core matter of psychological survival. The argument is that lying, even small lies, slowly but surely destroys your mental stability over time. And here is exactly why lying is so incredibly destructive. Every single lie creates a massive conflict between actual reality and the fake version of reality you're constantly spending energy trying to maintain. Just think about how utterly exhausting that is. Sure, telling the truth can be really painful in the short term, but maintaining a giant web of lies creates this deeply chaotic foundation. And like we talked about earlier with the house analogy, chaos eventually causes the whole structure to collapse. Truth is literally the bedrock of long-term mental stability. Section 3. Overcoming the comfort trap. Why maintaining these daily habits is so hard. We definitely have to acknowledge that these daily habits, standing up straight, telling the truth, taking small steps, they are simple, sure, but they are absolutely not easy. And they're hard because we're essentially swimming against the current of our modern culture. Modern life is perfectly engineered to teach people to avoid 3 specific things: discomfort, responsibility, and struggle. Everything around us is all about convenience, instant gratification, and just endless entertainment. But the source material warns us that constantly avoiding difficulty doesn't actually make your life better. It just makes you weaker and far less capable of handling real adversity when it inevitably hits you. So it all comes down to a really crucial choice. Running away from responsibility inevitably creates weakness. But running toward responsibility, like voluntarily picking up a really heavy load and choosing to carry it, that is what creates meaning. Voluntary struggle is exactly what builds your character, not endless comfort. Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Strength over Happiness, the ultimate outcome of voluntary responsibility. So, what is the ultimate outcome of adopting this actionable playbook and actually taking on this voluntary responsibility? It's really important to look at what is objectively being promised here. The source material fundamentally does not promise that you're going to be happy all the time. Happiness is just a fleeting emotion, right? It comes and it goes. Instead, it promises something way deeper: the mental stability to survive incredibly difficult times without breaking. It promises a solid, unbreakable foundation. If you actually follow these daily habits, this is the realistic promise. You will gain strength. You will find real meaning in the burdens you choose to carry. You'll achieve true internal stability completely regardless of the external chaos around you, and you will forge an unshakable character. Because remember, meaning is what helps people survive suffering, and meaning comes straight from the responsibility we voluntarily choose to bear. Honestly, if we had to distill everything we've covered in this explainer today, all the psychology, the rules, the habits, into just one single sentence, it would absolutely be this: your life changes the exact moment you stop waiting for life to become easier and start focusing on becoming stronger instead. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. Take a good look at your own life, your own foundation, your own daily habits. What responsibility will you voluntarily carry today? Just start small, stand up straight, organize your space, tell the truth, take that one step forward. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.